About 300,000 off-lease EVs are hitting the market this year alone. And because new EV prices have dropped so dramatically, most of those previous lessees are just walking into a new lease rather than buying out their old one. Which means all of those barely used electric cars are landing on dealer lots at prices that are genuinely hard to believe. On top of that, when the federal used EV tax credit expired, dealers could no longer inflate used EV prices at auction to absorb it, so prices corrected back down to where they should have been all along. The result? The used EV market in 2026 is the most buyer-friendly it has ever been in the history of electric vehicles. Today on Nick's Car Review, I am breaking down the best used EVs you can buy right now for under $25,000. Real cars, real range, real deals. Let's get into it. Starting right at the bottom of the budget, we have the 2018 Tesla Model 3 long-range AWD. And the idea of getting into a Tesla, any Tesla, for under $20,000 still feels slightly surreal even in 2026. But the numbers are right there in the market, and they are very much real. Recent data shows 2018 Tesla Model 3s averaging just under $20,000 in the current market, depending heavily on trim, mileage, and condition. The long-range AWD version was EPA rated at around 310 miles, when new and a healthy, well-maintained pack can still deliver over 200 miles of real-world range today. For the vast majority of everyday American drivers, 200 plus miles of practical range is completely sufficient. That is not a compromise. That is genuinely usable for commuting errands and weekend drives without any range anxiety at all. Now, there are important things to know before shopping one of these. The 2018 models run on hardware 2.5, which has limitations on how far full self-driving can be updated compared to newer hardware generations. So if FSD capability is something you specifically want, make sure to verify the hardware version before you commit. On higher mileage examples, the interior trim and dash materials can show wear, so always inspect carefully in person. And at 100,000 plus miles, you are outside of any factory battery warranty, so checking battery health before buying is not optional. It is essential. The 2018 long-range AWD is the best compromise between range, price, and traction, especially in snowbelt states. A well-maintained example with 50,000 to 80,000 miles represents strong value and long range. AWD units are considered the sweet spot of the entire early used Model 3 market. What makes this car so compelling despite those caveats is simple. Full access to Tesla's supercharger network, over-the-air software updates, keeping the car feeling fresher than its age suggests. That unmistakable Tesla driving experience, instant torque, minimalist interior, large touchscreen, all for under $20,000. The 2018 Model 3 is now firmly in mainstream used car territory, overlapping with well-equipped gas sedans and compact crossovers, which means the deals are real. And with over 1,700 examples listed nationwide, right now you have genuine negotiating power. Next up is one that genuinely surprises people when they see the price. The 2019 Tesla Model S long range. Because for a long time, the Model S was the aspirational Tesla, the full-size luxury flagship that felt completely out of reach for most buyers. And right now, in 2026, you can find used examples sitting in the $20,000 to $23,000 range for a Model S. Let that sink in for a second. Now, to be clear, the examples sitting at this price point are going to have higher mileage. We are talking around 100,000 miles on most of the listings you will find in this budget. That is a real consideration, and you need to go in with your eyes open about what that means. At 100,000 miles, you are outside of the factory battery warranty. Suspension components and other wear items will need attention at some point. This is not a pristine, low mileage luxury car. It is a high mileage example of a genuinely excellent vehicle that has depreciated dramatically and is now available at a fraction of its original price. But here is what you actually get for $20,000 to $23,000. The Model S is a significantly larger and more premium car than the Model 3. The Model S is a full-size luxury liftback with a genuinely enormous trunk, a large underfloor storage area, all-wheel drive, and an interior that still feels genuinely upscale, even on examples that are several years old. The rear seat space is substantially more generous than the Model 3. This is a car that comfortably seats adults in the back without anyone feeling cramped. You still get the supercharger network. You still get over-the-air updates. And you get all of that in a package that carries the Model S badge, Tesla's original luxury flagship. The 2019 specifically is considered a strong model year. Tesla resolved most early production issues by this point, and the overall build quality and reliability on 2019 examples is meaningfully stronger than earlier model years. If you can stomach the high mileage, and you go in knowing what to check: battery health, suspension condition, overall cosmetic state, the 2019 Model S at this price point is one of the most remarkable value propositions in the entire used EV market right now. A genuine luxury electric flagship for the price of a base economy car. That is a deal that simply did not exist a few years ago. Now let's talk about what might be the strongest pure value play on this entire list: the 2024 Chevy Blazer EV. And unlike the Tesla options we just covered, this is a practically brand new car. We are talking about a 2024 model with potentially 20,000 to 30,000 miles on it, sitting at or right around the $25,000 mark. A loaded 2024 Blazer EV LT2 now trades for as little as $25,000 in the current used market, a genuinely remarkable price for a car that originally sold for significantly more when new. Think about what that means practically. You are getting a 2-year-old electric SUV, modern technology, current generation features, a car that still has meaningful warranty coverage remaining at $25,000. The Blazer EV in AWD configuration delivers around 280 to 290 miles of real-world range, which is a completely respectable number for everyday use. It is a proper SUV with a spacious interior, comfortable ride, and a feature set that includes a massive 17.7-inch touchscreen, one of the largest infotainment screens of any vehicle at any price point right now. GM's built-in Google ecosystem handles navigation and connectivity, and while it does not offer Apple CarPlay or Android Auto, the system is genuinely usable and continues to improve through over-the-air updates. The reason this car is available at these prices comes down to two things. First, the Blazer EV had a rough launch with some early software issues that hurt its reputation even after those problems were resolved. Second, GM has been heavily incentivizing the Equinox EV, which created a situation where the Blazer EV ended up competing against its own sibling. The result is dramatic depreciation that makes the used Blazer EV one of the most compelling buys in the entire used EV segment right now. The early software problems are largely resolved. The car itself is genuinely good, and the price has dropped to a level that makes it very difficult to argue against. All right, now we get to the two cars that I think represent the absolute strongest used EV buys in the entire under $25,000 market right now. And I am not alone in that opinion. The data backs it up completely. Starting with the Hyundai Ioniq 5. Early used Ioniq 5 examples are starting to go for around $20,000 in 2026, which is a spectacular deal for such a great all-around EV. $20,000 for an Ioniq 5, a car that launched at over $40,000. That is more than 50% off original MSRP on one of the most well-reviewed electric vehicles ever made. And what makes that number even more remarkable is what you are actually getting underneath it. The Ioniq 5 is built on Hyundai's eGMP platform, an 800-volt architecture that gives it one of the fastest charging speeds of any EV on the market at any price point. Hyundai confirmed a maximum EPA estimated range of 303 miles for the single-motor rear-wheel drive version, and the Ioniq 5 can charge from 10 to 80% in as little as 20 minutes under ideal conditions. 20 minutes from 10 to 80% on a used car you can buy for $20,000. That charging speed is genuinely class-leading. It matches or beats cars that cost 2 or 3 times as much right now on the new car market. The interior is spacious in a way that genuinely surprises people when they first get in. The flat floor design, the sliding center console, the airy, open feeling of the cabin, it all still feels modern and premium even on cars that are now 3 or 4 years old. The rear seat space is generous. The cargo area is practical. This is a car that works for families, for commuters, for road trippers. It covers all the bases without asking you to compromise on any of them. And here is the bonus that seals the deal. Hyundai offers a 10-year, 100,000-mile battery warranty from new in the US, which means many 2022 to 2024 Ioniq 5 examples will carry coverage well into the early 2030s. So when you buy a used 2022 Ioniq 5 right now, you are potentially getting a car with 6 or more years of factory battery warranty remaining. That is an extraordinary safety net for a used EV buyer, and it is one of the single most compelling reasons to put the Ioniq 5 at the top of your used EV shopping list. Right alongside the Ioniq 5 in terms of value and capability is its sister car, the Kia EV6. And the reason both of these cars earn a spot on this list rather than just picking one is that they appeal to slightly different buyers despite sharing the same fundamental platform and technology underneath. The EV6 feels like the slightly sharper, slightly more athletic answer for buyers who want their used EV to have some personality. Data shows 2022 EV6s now averaging a little above $21,000, while 2023 cars sit in the mid-20,000s. So the pricing is right in line with the Ioniq 5, which makes the choice between them genuinely one of personal preference rather than budget. What the EV6 brings that is slightly different from the Ioniq 5 is a sportier lower roofline and a more driver-focused feel behind the wheel. The steering has a bit more engagement to it. The overall driving character is a little more dynamic and a little less lounge-like compared to the Ioniq 5. For buyers who care about how a car feels on a twisty road or just want something that feels a little more exciting to drive every day, the EV6 wins that comparison. The trade-off is slightly less headroom in the rear seat because of that more aggressively angled roofline, and marginally less cargo space compared to the taller, more upright Ioniq 5. Both cars share the same 800-volt charging architecture, that incredible 10 to 80% charge in around 20 minutes. Both come with the same 10-year, 100,000-mile battery warranty coverage. The shared eGMP platform gives both the EV6 and Ioniq 5 genuinely fast DC charging on capable stations on a healthy pack and a high-powered DC fast charger. Both cars can add a large chunk of range in a coffee stop. Same technology, same reliability, same warranty protection, just slightly different personalities in the way they look and feel and drive. So let's zoom out and look at the full picture. Because the 5 cars we cover today, the 2018 Tesla Model 3, the 2019 Tesla Model S, the 2024 Chevy Blazer EV, the Hyundai Ioniq 5, and the Kia EV6 are all sitting at prices right now that represent a genuinely historic moment in the used car market. Modern EV depreciation is truly abnormal. There's no real reason an EV with 25,000 miles should be 50% cheaper than new, considering how rare battery and motor failures actually are. But most buyers remain cautious about battery degradation, which means the deals are still spectacular for anyone willing to do their homework. 300,000 EVs are coming off lease in 2026 alone. Many of those previous owners are moving into new models rather than buying out their leases because new EV prices have dropped so dramatically. Those off-lease vehicles are flooding used lots nationwide and keeping prices at levels that benefit smart buyers in a big way. That wave is not stopping anytime soon. The bottom line is simple. If you have been thinking about going electric and the price of a new EV has been holding you back, the answer to that problem is sitting right here in the used market right now. Real cars, real range, real technology, at prices that make the switch to electric not just possible, but genuinely smart. I am Nick, this has been Nick's Car Review, and I will see you in the next one.